bomo pač dali to v angleščini, tako da Xavi is here. Welcome again to Slovenia, and of course, welcome to this special live stream. We have people on Zoom and people on Facebook Live. Tell us about your experience with hypnosis. How did you encounter hypnosis, and what do you think about the usage of it?
Well, thank you for inviting me. And I have to tell you that it's very funny because in my first trainings of NLP, no one taught me about hypnosis. But then I discovered Richard Bandler's NLP, and suddenly it opened up a new world for me. Because the thing with NLP without hypnosis is just having half of the body working, because how you're going to create the changes in people if you don't put them in the right state so these changes can work. And when I discovered hypnosis, my whole perception of change in ourselves completely it was evolved, I would say.
So what challenges can you solve using hypnosis? Do you have some examples from your clients or maybe your students that they overcome or overcame some of their problems, difficulties they had, and so on?
Yeah, look, the first problem that people have is that they are so focused to being outside that they don't know what is happening inside. So always the first part of hypnosis and the best part of hypnosis is that you go in to find things interesting. So when I work with clients, for example, athletes, they are very well in focusing in what they are doing, but they are not aware of how they are feeling. And I work with world champions or Spanish champions, and what happens to them is that they don't know what is their peak performance, that moment that they are doing their best. So one way is to put them into a trance, to find those resources, and then to make them more aware of what is the peak performance to work at their best in that moment of the competition. That sometimes is just seconds. When you work with the ski champions or ski people, they just, to go down is like 40 seconds, 50 seconds, and they have to be at their best in those 50 seconds. That's a very, very good example, but also we have examples in the corporate world. Now, any person that needs to be in front of a board of executives, someone managing other people, they need to be in control of their emotional states. And using hypnosis, it helps you to train yourself into those moments that you need to have your best resources in you. So hypnosis is absolutely fundamental.
Can everyone be hypnotized?
I don't know everyone, but I can tell you that a lot of people can be hypnotized, because hypnotized, it just means go into a different state. Now, everyone that is listening to us, here, there, all of them, they go to sleep. So if you go to sleep, it means that your brains, your wave brains, they change. And you go into a state where your brain begins to have dreams or just to rest, and that happens every night. So if this happens every night, naturally, this means that it can be trained to be or to do it on purpose. The problem is that a lot of people are scared of hypnosis because they think about a pendulum or doing the chicken or eating an onion thinking it's an apple. That's not hypnosis. Hypnosis is control over your mental and physiological states.
When you think about going into trance, people use different inductions, different language patterns and so on. How can people find what works for them?
Yeah, really good question, because, you know, there are different people, and every one of us has like a tendency. For example, there are people that are very mental. They are always thinking and talking to themselves. For these people, the quickest way to go into the trance is connect with the body. Not keep talking to themselves, because there is the place that they are very comfortable. That's their home. When you pay attention to your body, how you feel your legs, the weight of your legs, the tension in different muscles, a specific part of our brain called the cerebellum connects. And in that moment, it's just something clicks off in the brain and you start to relax. For example, but other people that they can be more physical, more connected to the body, maybe they need to connect more the emotions. And then to make them pay attention of how relaxed and how good they are going to be while they are going to a trance, it could be the way to put them into a trance. But to me, the best, the fastest way for anyone that starts, it's just doing, the tensing the muscles and releasing the muscles of different parts of the body, so the body relaxes and the mind can relax. And then to learn all the hypnosis that we teach in our trainings that makes them go deeper and to do the work that we want to do there.
Yeah, we are going to do, at the end of our discussion, we're going to do a double induction. So we are both going to speak at the same time. It will be Spanish Slovenian or Catalan Slovenian or English Slovenian,
Yeah,
or
well,
which one?
Choose.
Which
You can choose.
English?
If you want, I can do it in English. If you want, I can be changing between English and Catalan.
Oh, yeah, let's try that one. I mean, Catalan, it's maybe similar more to Italian than to
Yes.
Spanish.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. There are some people close to the border that they speak Italian. But before we go to the induction or to the trance that we're going to do together, what is something that you recommend people who are afraid, is hypnosis going to work for me, or am I too old, too young, I'm educated enough to learn this? What is some recommendations that you may have?
Well, I would say that the fastest way that people learn, that children learn, is by playing, is by being curious, is by just not paying attention and just relaxing. So this, it can be done in the same way in hypnosis. When people try too hard to relax, that's generally creating the opposite effect. And so instead of trying too hard to do something, when you let go and you just relax and you just enjoy and you just play and you're just curious where you can go or how deep you can go, magic happens. So it's the opposite. Instead of trying, you see people sometimes trying to do meditation like this, And it's not the way to do meditation. When you see Buddha is always like this. And that's for a reason. So the more you relax and the more you are confident that that's going to happen, the more you just let yourself go and trust the process, hypnosis happens a lot faster.
Odlično. Thank you. Do you have any questions on Zoom or Facebook maybe? Andreja, če so kakšne slik, mislim, prvič na Facebooku, če nas vidite, prosim, kliknite na like in tudi komentirajte, se vidimo, se slišimo, lahko tudi napišete mogoče kakšno vprašanje za našega čudovitega gosta, ki prihaja iz Barcelone, to je Španija, torej Katalonija, in mislim, malo geografija, vse to vsi vemo, ki je, ima vseeno. Andreja, če kakšno vprašanje na Zoomu, pa lahko tudi z veseljem odgovorim na to vprašanje, povezavi s hipnozo seveda. Today, Xavi, you told us and taught us some very incredible language patterns. What is the connection between language and hypnosis? Why it's knowing all those different language patterns, and not only to the ones that we learned today in general, so important to use hypnosis in everyday life?
Because first of all, language directs our attention to certain things and create mental representations. So one part of our brain is about creating images and creating feelings, and all of this is connected with the language, because if you say, think yourself on a nice beach, that creates a mental representation, and if you like to be on the beach, you will feel more relaxed. But at the same time, if I say, and when you are on that beach, you will begin to feel a bigger relaxation, or whatever you want to say, then you direct the attention of the person to a certain thing like relaxation. So that is very important in our daily life, because in our daily lives, we are always paying attention to something. That sometimes these things that we're paying attention, whether it's inside us or outside, it's not creating the right feeling to us. So by talking to ourselves in a different way, we'll put the attention in different places, and we feel better, more focused, more just motivated. But if I pay attention to all the things that go wrong instead of all the things I can do better, or I am already doing better, then I'll feel better. But if I put the attention in that, I'll feel worse. That's hypnosis. Every time that someone comes to you and me and says, "Oh, how old are you?" Can I say it? Can I say it? Yes? "Oh, I'm 50. Oh, 50. I'm sure that some parts of you are aching already." It's doing hypnosis to you. It's like pregnant women when they say, "Oh, you're pregnant. Oh, you will see how difficult it is to sleep." They are doing hypnosis. So everyone is trying to do hypnosis over us. The more we know about hypnosis, the more protected we are going to be against other ones making hypnosis to us. Because you and me, we are very young yet. Because we do biohacking.
Yeah. So people don't know that we are both the same. We're born the same year.
Yeah.
You are actually older.
Older than
you. You are older. A few months older. I don't know if we can tell
But I
that.
look younger without hair.
Okay. So if we have any questions, we are happy to answer those questions. So I think Andrea has a question for us from Zoom. And do we have any questions from YouTube or Facebook? Се lahko kar se kričiš, bom jaz ponovil. Ja. How would you help someone who is immobile, so to calm his mind? So our participant here on Zoom has her father, who is not mobile. It's this right way.
So
cannot move. Yes. And how could she help him to calm his mind?
That's a very good question, and I have different examples of cases of people that because of different reasons, sometimes accidents or sometimes just because certain illnesses, they cannot move. The thing is that person that cannot move obviously feels frustrated probably and sad probably because obviously wants to move, and everything is inside the brain. I have a neighbor of mine, he lives like 100 meters from my house, that has what is called a Down syndrome. So this means that they are born and with a specific gene that makes them weaker and weaker in the muscles the more they grow. So by the age of 25, 27, they barely cannot move or breathe because the muscles, they don't help them. This person wrote a book. He is in peace with death because he knows he's going to die very young, no more than probably 30. And everything is in our brain. It's the way you take things. Now, this person, the father of this person, probably doesn't know how to think in a different way that calms him down. So by using hypnosis, by giving commands to that person, by directing the attention to the good things that he still have, or making him feel better, making remembering certain things, he will improve a lot his life, I'm sure. But he needs to have technology for that. He needs to use, for example, NLP or hypnosis.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, can we do hypnosis for someone who had brain stroke?
Well, it depends on, I guess, that the areas of the brain affected. If it's a brain stroke, that it doesn't let the person move properly, for sure. If it's someone that because of that brain stroke cannot talk, for sure, yes. It obviously is going to depend on the areas of the brain affected. I'm not an expert in that field, but I know many cases of people. Richard Bandler is a case of having a stroke, and not in the brain, but having a stroke that affected his mobility. And he recovered because our brain is very plastic, and we can learn other ways to do things. So it would depend, obviously, I think, in the kind of affections that it had in the brain.
Yeah, I remember meeting actually Richard when I became part of the assisting team in London, just shortly after the stroke.
Yeah.
And he was barely walking.
Yeah.
And now he's going to the gym, he's exercising, and this is maybe now almost 20 years later that he's in a much better shape.
Yep.
So basically, a lot of good self-hypnosis, self-talk, and if people helping this person can give them great suggestions, can stimulate some kind of a passion mission for a different phase of life, or maybe some vision of a better future that will enable the person to exercise and do whatever it takes to get back in shape.
One of the biggest motivators is hope. So one of the things that Richard always says is when the doctor came with a wheelchair and said, I'm introducing your best friend. And Richard said, there isn't anyone sitting here. He said, no, the wheelchair. I said, why I would need a wheelchair? Because it's very likely that you're never going to walk ever again. And he said, okay, what are the chances? He said, well, 90-10 that you will not walk. And he said, okay, let me choose if I want to be in the 90 part or in the 10th part. So that's an option. Obviously, not everyone is so well prepared mentally or so strong, but definitely hope is one of the biggest engines inside us to make change.
Yeah, I was just giving an example in a presentation I had recently with a group that is now also with us today, and one of the ladies who came for help to work with me, and she wasn't sleeping for years. One night before she came to me, she was able to sleep and almost missed my appointment because she had hope. She said, I asked her, I didn't say anything yet, but she said, yes, but I felt that I have hope finally, and I was able to sleep. So that's what they're saying. It's so important. So anyone listening to us, if you want to help yourself, if you want to help others, use hypnosis to install hope. Use all different language patterns that we're going to learn together to install hope to make your life or other people's life better. I think we have another question. How can you help a child to get over mobile or internet or any other addiction?
Wow, that's a question. I guess that if I had the answer, we probably could make millions and millions now. I honestly don't know. I have 2 children. My children are not addicted to telephones because they don't have one. But
how old are they?
One is 8 and the other one is 13. Now, I know it's not easy because there is a lot of peer pressure from the rest of children. And I don't think anyone has the clue to that because there are a lot of parents struggling, right? Now, I have an answer, not for the children, but for the parents. So my answer for the parents would be a couple of questions. It's like, how much attention are you paying to your children? Are you working a lot? Are you very stressed? Can you have time with your children? Can you spend valuable time with your children and pay attention to them honestly, because nowadays it's not just the children, it's the parents being with the telephone the whole day, one, the parents being very stressed, and without knowing, they are projecting this stress into the children. So one way that this stress shows up is with the need of dopamine and craving something. I know that TikTok and Instagram or whatever, it's very highly addictive, but if also there is stress, and if also the child or the teenager doesn't feel attended and protected, this child is going to be more likely to go to these devices. So I don't have any parenting advice, but I have an advice for the parents. That is, besides looking and paying attention to your children, pay attention to you. How is your emotional state? How you can relax through hypnosis? How you can be a better parent by being a better being, like a more relaxed and mindful person in front of your children, before blaming the children for being addicted to a telephone. That would be my little advice.
Yeah, and actually I read an article recently that children from successful entrepreneurs in the field of like Mark Zuckerberg, children or Bill Gates and so on, they didn't have a mobile phone or internet access or social media until very late age, like 16 or even 18, because they understood how harmful social media and addictive can actually be. And I agree exactly what you said, because this I keep saying to people, the more they want change in others, the more they need to change themselves. Yeah. So you said basically the same. I keep telling them that if they want their kids to change, they need to change. Mm-hmm. And if they want their kids to change fast, they need to change fast.
Using hypnosis.
Yes, and if they want to make a really big change in their kids, they need to make a big change in themselves. So this is how it really works, but sometimes people don't want to listen to that. You know, they just want something, okay, help them. I am good, you know. They're bad, but I am perfect, you know. So that's what what you actually so greatly explained, and I appreciate it.
And sometimes it's not that. Probably a lot of times I agree with you. It's like that, and sometimes people, they think they don't have time to do it. You know, we are so busy in this life. We have so many tasks, all day busy, that we don't have time even for ourselves. And again, that doing hypnosis, having your time to do a meditation every day, is giving time not to yourself, just to yourself. It's time to yourself. It's time to yourself that will make you be better, and then the change will start in others. But we are so busy that we think that we cannot spend time for ourselves, when it's the first time we should begin with ourselves.
Andreas, kakšno vprašanje? Yeah, we still have questions. Sorry, Xavier. Kakšno vprašanje na Facebooku? Sam tako, Facebooku si sam napišite, da slišite, vidite, imamo nekoga, ki se imenuje Miljenko in drži telefon, ha boli roka, delajo na bicepsih, ne? Tako da saj napišite tam, da slišite, vidite, da ste z mano. So kaj napisati, če video na Facebooku se sliši, vidi. Lajkajte tudi, tako da smo vedeli, da ste z nami. Če se vam zdi to koristno, tudi delite. Evo, prosti, Andreja. Okay, the question is, how can hypnosis help someone with the Parkinson's disease? But this is an article, I don't know if this person was on my second day on the workshop. I showed an article from the greatest medicine library in the world, where there is 95% of decrease in shaking, in trembling, after someone used hypnosis. So there is an article which is a medical hypnosis article that I highly recommend to this person to read, and see that these incredible results. But Xavi, what about your comment? How can hypnosis help someone with a neurological disease?
Many years ago, I had a student with Parkinson. She came for help. I helped her, as you said, exactly the same. And she said, okay, I'm in an association in Barcelona for Parkinson patients. So let me organize a talk or a conference or a workshop with doctors and patients. So you can show what you can do, okay? They came, there were doctors and there were patients. So I took one patient that was shaking it was shaking. I did hypnosis in front of the doctors. He stopped shaking, as you said. I took another one, was shaking, stopped. Well, the conclusion of the doctors is that NLP and hypnosis don't help Parkinson, so they kept doing what they do. Besides my proofs in front of them. According to them, it was accidental that. But as you say, and I'm glad that you mentioned a study, my experience with Parkinson patients is that it decreased the shaking almost completely when you do hypnosis with them.
I mean, this is something I really stress again, that please always, with any disease, consult with your doctor. We are just here not to give you medical advice, but to help you think differently. And when you think differently, you can feel and behave differently. And even now, just a few moments ago, we had here a medical doctor on this seat. He was our former Ministry of Health. And he was talking about how he can use hypnosis on himself and also giving some great hypnotic suggestions to others. So yes, thank you for this.
And just remember again that you can self-hypnotize yourself, which it's the way in NLP to talk about meditation. The difference between meditation and self-hypnosis for me is very important. It's like usually people meditate following a technique or following just something that they learn. With hypnosis, you control the process. You can go deeper or less depending on the moment. So the more you know about hypnosis and self-hypnosis, the more you will be able to control all these things that we're saying. This is obviously is not medical advice. It's just if you want to try meditation, I would suggest to incorporate hypnosis because it will give you more control over what you're doing to relax. Definitely.
Thank you so much, Xavi. Yes, Andrea? How quickly can you expect changes with hypnosis?
How, sorry?
Quickly can you expect changes with hypnosis?
Like how quickly a phobia is developed or a post-traumatic stress is developed in front of a very really impactful situation. It's immediate, right? So the potential to have immediate changes is there. It's easy or not easy, it will depend on the skills of everyone, of every person. But potentially, if we learn how to be scared of something immediately, we should be able to overcome that immediately too. The potential is there in our brain.
Yeah, I mean, I always say to people, like overcoming a phobia, quitting smoking, changing beliefs, shaking can be done like this. But if, for example, they have 20 or 30 kilos too much, and if they go into a trance, they change their thinking about their food, there's some time that needs to that they need to lose that weight. So it's not overnight. Or if they want to build a successful career, so like for example, they're not happy in their job right now, and they would like to get a different job, or they will even start their successful business, they can use self-hypnosis. They change the way they think, but the result may require some work on a daily basis.
Absolutely. And it's not just that. I mean, some changes are just changes, and some changes are habits that need to be incorporated, mental habits, emotional habits, physical habits, and that requires repetition. I mean, any habit in this world is based on repetition, and successful results, obviously. So the more you practice something, the more chances that that change happens, especially when it's like being more positive, being more resilient. Oh, this is not a change like that. It's a habit of thinking in a different way. But that needs training, and that training can be like accelerated through hypnosis for sure.
Okay. Is this it? Pasja. Ja, ne vem, deva.
Yeah.
So, you understand?
Yeah.
Multiple sclerosis.
My sister suffers from multiple sclerosis. So my own sister is been affected by that. And there are many explanations. I'm not going into that, but at least I can talk about my sister. Is when she gets stressed, that the immune system starts to attack all the nervous system. So the more stressed she is, the worse she gets. So hypnosis with care, it helps her to have more control of her emotions. Actually, when she realized that she had this illness, because she didn't know, it's not an illness, it's a syndrome or something like that. But she lost the sight of one eye because they didn't have time enough to reverse it, and she didn't know what was happening to her. But since then, she didn't have more deterioration of her physical state. So she's stable. She lost the vision in one eye, but nothing else happened. But she learned how to manage her emotions, not to get too stressed, and to relax. And that, for me, that could be a good answer to this person.
Andrea, je to? Yeah. I think we already answered the one, yoga meditation one, isn't it? So, okay, cool. So, I think we answered all the questions. Any questions on Facebook, maybe? So, hello, Facebook people. Please like and comment, and also tudi tisti, ki ste na Zoomu, lahko kaj komentirate, kako je bilo to današnje javljanje v živo iz Ljubljane. Danes je bil Xavier Pirla, vrhunski lingvist, res neverjeten strokovnjak, in sem vesel, da smo to znanje prenesli na domače naše študente. Ena stvar, ki sem se zavezal, je to, da bom čim več genijev pripeljal v Slovenijo, da bomo res dobili znanje, ki ga ni mogoče nikjer drugje dobiti, da naredimo Slovenijo in ta naš svet lepši s tem, ko bomo hipnozo praktično dali v vsakdanjo uporabo. Bomo naredili en kratek trans skupaj, če ste za to, in sicer naredimo double induction, zato bomo imela eno tako simpatično glasbo v ozadju. Xavi, we are going to do a double induction, so I will speak in Slovenian, and you're going to speak whatever language you want, because you can speak different languages. So maybe you can put English with some Catalan words. And Spanish, of course, yeah. But there are some words in Catalan that maybe... do you ever do hypnosis? Because I know that you speak mostly in Spanish, but do you ever do hypnosis in Catalan as well?
Yes,
you do, of course.
And in English.
Of course. Okay. Torej, če ste vsi pripravljeni, vas vabim, da zdaj, če vozite avto, da tega seveda ne počnete.
Just a logistic question. We are going to do it at the same time
Exactly.
or alternating? Not at the same time.
Let's do it at the same time.
Whoa.
So it's going to be a bomb. So
Okay.
yeah, so we didn't teach them much about why we do this. And so basically, double induction or triple or whatever induction is really helping people to go into trance because they're unable to listen consciously to everything what we're saying, and they will, people who are going to listen to us, they will try to pick his words, my words, and so on, and the mind, of course, it's unable to process everything, so it will go into your unconscious mind, and this is one of the ways you bypass the critical faculty. So we have been talking about, we already had 2 workshops with them. And we were talking about the critical faculty. Some people were asking me, how can I do that? And this is one of the ways they can easily do if they have a chance to do and listen to a double induction. So please put your feet on the floor. Don't drive or do any activity that requires your full attention while we are doing this, because it could be really hypnotic. I will speak in Slovenian from now on, and we leave Xavi to speak whatever language he wants. Because listen, you think that you don't understand Catalan or Spanish, but your unconscious can understand any voice and language. So please feel good for no reason. Take a deep breath in. I will go to Slovenian, and Xavi, join me in this short trance dance now. Torej, vabim vas, da se sprostite in se prepustite trenutku, ko poslušate moj glas in glas Xavija. Lahko dovolite, da se vaše nezavedno povsem sprosti. Tako je, čisto v redu je. Ko poslušate najna glasova in te različne jezike, se lahko vprašate, koliko pozitivnih in lepih trenutkov lahko ustvarim s tem, ko poznam hipnozo in samo hipnozo. Kaj lahko naredim dobrega? Kako se lahko še bolj sprostite, umirite? Tako je, v redu je. Ni vam treba razmišljati, ni vam treba niti razumeti. Lahko samo poslušate in se sprostite. Dovolite, da spoznate, da imate v sebi moč, potencial, veliko priložnosti še. Ni važno, koliko ste stari. Ni važno, kaj se dogaja v tem trenutku v vašem življenju. Ste polni upanja in zaupanja. Ker ti vsako noč, ko spite in sanjate, se vaše nezavedno lahko vpraša, zakaj se meni dogajajo ti lepi čudeži vsak dan znova? Kako se lahko smejem več? Kako se lahko smejem in smejem življenju? Vsako jutro, ko vstajam, vidim en lep nasmešek v gledalu in se vprašam, zakaj se mi dogajajo tako lepe stvari? Kako to, da spoznavam nove in pozitivne ljudi? Ti ljudje mi pomagajo, da se počutim bolje in bolje. Z vsakim dnem, z vsakim trenutkom je več veselja, pozitivnosti, hvaležnosti, ljubezni v mojem življenju. Ne vem, če poznate zgodbo o deklici, ki se je izgubila v gozdu in pride do zajca in zajec ji reče, deklica, kam pa greš? Izgubila sem se. Kako naj najdem pot domov? Zajec se nasmehne in reče, ne skrbi, katerokoli pot boš izbrala, poslušaj srce, poslušaj zvok narave, glej, kamor te pot vodi, ker ti vedno si varna, vedno bo vse v redu. Samo sprosti se, dovoli, da se te dotakne mir trenutka. In ko se je deklica vrnila domov, je spoznala, da je bila doma tudi v gozdu, da je bila doma povsod, ker se počuti dobro. In da njen dom je med dobrimi ljudmi. Življenje je lepo. Življenje je čudovito. Tako je. Kar sprostite se. Dovolite si. Greste še globje in globje. Zdaj. Ta glas. Drugi glas. Vsi glasovi, ki jih imate v sebi, vam pomagajo, da doživite sprostitev, sproščenosti. Tako je. Ni se vam treba truditi. Vsak občutek in vsak trenutek še pomaga, da se sprostite zdaj. Kako dober je ta občutek. Lahko se nasmehnete. Malo večji nasmešek zmorete. Kje so zobki? Pokažite me zobko. Nihče vas ne vidi. In lahko se nasmehnete. Dober občutek je. Kako dober je ta občutek. Življenje je lepo. Poglejte v prihodnost. Vidite sebe.
Simplemente
kako uporabljate hipnozo vsak dan.
déjate llevar
Kako ste odlični v tem, da se
A,
znate
lugar.
sprostiti še bolj.
más
Tako
profundo.
je, v redu je. Ne rišite nasmešek,
Now,
se sprostite.
deeply
Umirite.
inside you.
Zdaj. Globok nasmešek.
Deep.
Zdaj.
More.
Globoko.
Now.
Mir. Mir.
Ahora. Y
Globoko.
aquí
Zdaj.
relaxas.
Ko ste pripravljeni, whenever you're ready, you can come back, smiling, feeling good. Lahko se vrnete nazaj. Še enkrat pogledajte v prihodnost, ko vas čaka lepa, svetla prihodnost. Pogledajte sebe, kako uporabljate vsak dan hipnozo in samo hipnozo zase, za ljudi, ki jih imate radi. In ko pridete nazaj, rečete nasmešek in počasi, počasi, s tem velikim nasmeškom, odprete oči. Open your eyes.
Now.
Wow. That was a short trance. Xavier Pirla, mama mia, kakšna priložnost, sreča, veselje, hvaležnost z nami v živo. In upam, da ste doživeli en kratek odtenek tega, kar smo mi cel dan doživljali tukaj, ko smo spoznavali, kako lahko hipnozo uporabimo v vsakdanjem življenju. Sem prepričan, da bo Xavier spet prišel v Slovenijo. Xavi, we are so happy that you're here in Slovenia, and of course we want to welcome you back again.
Of course, anytime. I'll be super, super pleased.
So,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Hvala Andreja, hvala Milenko.
Hvala.
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 Hvala. Ja, Andreja, tako da jaz bi se zahvalil celotni ekipi, tudi vsem, ker ste ustrajali do konca z nami tukaj. In seveda hvala vsem na Zoomu, hvala vsem na Facebooku.
Odlično.
Odlično. Odlično, ja. Tudi ja, evo, vsem bi se zahvalil. Upam, da se vidimo na naslednji naši delavnici, torej dan številka 3 nas čaka seveda v ponedeljek. Tako da dobrodošli, vabljeni, da se nam seveda pridružite zvečer. In pogledajte si posnetke, ker bojo kmalu pač ne bodo več na voljo. In še enkrat hvaležen, počaščen, da sem vam lahko predal en tak majhen košček tega čudovitega genija, strokovnjaka, ki je prijatelj, učitelj, sošolec moj tudi. In oba sva seveda trenerja, asistenta po Richard Benderju, ki se srečujeva in skozi dopolnjujeva znanje, izkušnje. Why, before we finish, why is so important that I know that we meet again and again with learning from Richard Bandler, one of the greatest hypnotists of all times. Why do you think it's so important that you keep learning and you keep growing all the time? Maybe like a final question.
As Richard says, if you don't grow, you go down. You never stay at the same point. So whether you go up or you go down, there is not staying at the same point. So I don't want to go down. So
Okay. Gracias. Ne? How do you say thank you in Catalan?
Gracias.
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 Moltes gracias.
Moltes gracias, Xavi,
The
for
rest.
coming to Slovenia. And we're going to show you some of Ljubljana tonight.
Yep.
And Slovenia, maybe next time when we have more time. So thank you. Hvala vsem. Lepo zdrav na Facebook, lepo zdrav na
Čau, čau.
Zoom. Čau. Bodite v cvetju. Hvala vsem.